I'm back to show you my fourth block from our Slow Stitch collaboration. This one has come from Jeanette from Mi Cottage Crafts. I will link her below so you can see her channel. And I'm very excited to open it up and then put it alongside my other 3 blocks that I've received that you've already seen a video of. So firstly, this looks like it's a little extras pack. And this is a super cute clip. Look at that. That is really sweet. So it's on little clips. So when I make my fabric journal with all my patches in, I'll be able to clip that on. Love that. Okay, I want to look at the goodies first and leave the exciting block till the end. Ooh, I love the colours. Just the colours I've picked. So we've got some beautiful little embellishments here, some buttons, beads and different trims and these gorgeous heart doilies, which will come in really handy. Oh wow, look at this bundle. Some lace, selvage. I love selvage. I try to keep selvage and use it. I love it when it's got writing on it like that. Gorgeous. So going with the colours that I picked, like apple green, spring colours, pinks, aquas, lavender, gorgeous little embroidery there. I love this. And she's actually, yep, she's stitched it all together. Very clever, Jeanette. It looks fantastic. So neat. And some gorgeous cross stitch there. Greens, lace, pretty pink. Some lace there. Well, lace trim. I'm not sure it's... Feels like it might be done out of wool. Oh, look at that fabric. That is beautiful. Oh, I really love that. That is gorgeous fabric. So indigo blue was one of my colours. So that's perfect. Gorgeous little pack there. So put the little embellishments to the side. And we've got a really lovely cross-stitched embroidery. And it looks like the block. Oh, wow. Inside. That is beautiful. I actually love the colours that I've picked. Obviously, I picked them because I like them. So I'm going to show you up close. So we've got some lovely embroidery. There's the lavender. And I love yellow, pinks, French knots, little stitches all over the place. Oh, and this is, look, Jeanette has done little tiny French knots everywhere on this. And all the way around there. And I think you've done it in there too. And that's that beautiful fabric, and she's done some embroidery on top in various places. It is beautiful. I love that button. Love all buttons really. And there's selvage. Oh my goodness. Tiny little stitching. Can you see that tiny stitching on the edge? Hopefully the camera focuses. And using the gorgeous trim. That is just beautiful. I love it, and it goes so perfectly with the other ones. So I'm going to try and line them up. I don't know if I'll get them all on screen. I'll just move everything to the side and see how many I can get on screen. Hopefully that's still on screen. And this was my first block I received. Don't they go perfectly together? And my third block, again, perfectly together. And I don't think I'm going to get this all on screen. My fourth block. And I love the way the style of each person is really different, yet they all go together so well. I'm going to try this. I know I'm not zoomed out enough to get them all on screen together. I'll tell you something funny though. So you saw me open my sister's block, and we were talking the other day. Sorry, I just want to say thank you so much for this one, Jeanette. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm loving them all together. It's going to make such a beautiful book. But just want to tell a quick story. Was that my sister and I were talking about the fact that every time people are laying them out, like if I lay Jeanette's out next to my sister's, we kept saying her dimensions are different. But she's like, I'm measuring it. So we were supposed to do 7 by 9, so that when you stitch it, because when you slow stitch, sometimes it does shrink down a little bit, you could ultimately end up with a piece that's 6 by 8. And look at this, look at the difference. Rach, you might laugh at this. Look at the height. And so I got my ruler out and I measured this, Rach. Your width is right. You've gone 10 inches tall. So good old Rach, who just wings it and doesn't measure everything. You've actually got an inch tall, but it doesn't matter because what I'll do, whatever dimension is the biggest, when I make my fabric book, I'm just going to, you know, I might just extend a little bit, add a little piece on the top of each one or a bit wider or whatever it is, or add some background fabric so that it ends up being, so it looks like my book at the moment is going to end up being 10 inches tall. And what I think I might do is I might put it into an old book, and so I'll find one that's tall enough. But don't they look amazing together? Like, everyone is just so different, but it's just so perfect together, the colors. Just beautiful. So at this point, just Rachel, if you are watching, you need to shut your video off because I'm going to show everyone the block I've done for you, which is my 4th block, which I need to send to Rach, but my mum has begged me to hold on to it. She's coming down to Sydney next week and she just wants to see it before I send it. So Rach, I will post it to you on Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday when Mum comes down. Okay, so turn off, Rach. All right, so this is my block for my sister. So all our blocks have been vertical, but I asked Rachel if I could do this one horizontal because it just fit better with the idea that I had, and she said that's fine because it's going in a book, so it doesn't matter which way it goes. So what I have done is, I know that Rach really wanted like red, white and blue, French blue, sort of pinky red, and whites and tea dyes and sort of off-whites. So what I've done is I laid down all the fabric on this. This piece of white actually has come from an old pair of pantaloons. So I actually have a box of old textiles and embroideries and doilies and things. Actually not a box, it was 6 boxes to begin with, huge boxes. That had come from a beautiful antique store that's near where my mum lives, that closed down many years ago because the poor lady that ran it passed away from an illness. And we were always wondering what happened to the shop. We didn't know she'd passed away, and we used to go there to get our embroideries and vintage textiles and stuff. And then another friend of my mum's had a shop, and she actually had bought the whole shop's inventory. And she bought a lot of the clothes. They had a lot of old sort of Victorian style clothes, and she sold most of the clothes to the movie, which Australian movie, The Water Diviner, which Russell Crowe's in. But she had 6 boxes of the textiles left, so she sold them to me at a really cheap price. So the pantaloons, the background fabric, has come from that box, as has most of what's here. Not all of it, but most of it, and I'll just explain everything. So I did a white base. I got my white piece of pantaloon, and then I layered up different pieces of fabric on top. So here, another piece of pantaloon, what I've done is I've just stamped it using the Stays On, the brown tone of ink, and I had like a script stamp. Then I had this piece under here has actually lace down the side here. That's a piece of old napkin. No, not napkin, sorry, handkerchief with a beautiful lace edge there. And then I put down another piece of just old sort of linen that I pulled out of there, and also across the bottom, which you can't really see. Then what I did, once I'd stitched all that down, so you can see there's a cantha sort of running stitch that's run along. So just showing you what my process was. So everywhere I've just stitched straight across it, or I pinned it all down, stitched straight across, straight across. This piece I stitched vertically and then horizontally again here and finished off underneath. So then I had my white base, and what I did is I layered up a couple of things. So I put this little piece here, which also came from that box, and this here, which had come from I think this one came from a handkerchief as well. And I stitched them down. I just stitched around the edge of both of these to keep them down. And then these were actually like scallops, like I think it's called the clamshell pattern from quilting. And I'm going to show you just one sec. So I think you've probably heard me talk about a crafty op shop that my sister and I like to go to. And last time I went there, I found this box, and it's basically full of someone who'd made clamshells, obviously with the intention of making a quilt, and possibly they never got around to it or lost interest or whatever it was, but this box, it's an old lunch box, is chock-a-block. And a lot of the fabrics look like old French General fabrics, which I love, my mum loves, and I know my sister loves as well. So I actually put some of these onto Anne's block, which I've already shown you, and Anne's received that, and Brooke. And then I've picked 3, which look like French General to me, down the bottom for my sister. So then what I've done is I've done these flowers. Now these flowers were inspired by Hen's Teeth, if you're familiar with her. Viv, she makes absolutely beautiful things, and she made these brooches that basically look like this using doilies, and she used sometimes paper, the ends of old paper, of cotton spools, and then different sort of stems. And then she kind of embellished them and she made them into brooches, but I've decided to put them down onto the fabric. So that's where my idea came from. I had this idea right from the beginning that I wanted to try this, and I knew that my sister would love it and it would lend itself really perfectly to her colours that she picked. So all my little Suffolk puffs, or yo-yos as some people call them, I buy them, they're all old ones. I buy them from a lady on Instagram. So they've all come from her. This one's got a double one with a little tiny one in the middle and a larger one. I actually liked them frayed. Viv from Hen's Teeth also had frayed bits as well. You can see some of these were pulled apart and there's little divots in them. This one was pretty well intact perfectly. Then what I did is I picked different things for stems. So this here, I'll just show you. This also came out of that antique box. It was actually, I had this blouse that was like this aqua colour. And they're the little fasteners. So I used that for that stem. But also off that same blouse, I'm just looking over, I've got a little box of tricks. I can't see it. There was some lace on that blouse as an edge too. And it's that stem there. And this is like the end little lacy bit. These little things here I buy on Etsy. I'm sure lots of people are familiar with them if you know French textiles. So they're caches, old labels, and you buy them. I wasn't able to get my own initials or RR for Rachel Roxburgh or anything like that, but I liked the R, so I got RD, and it's a whole box of them, and then I just got a random 3-digit number there, so they're old labels. So I got a couple of them. This one here actually came from the box from the antique store as well. I found that on a garment, so I took that off, and so that's authentically a really old piece as well. Really everything is old, and I've got it from either a secondhand store or upcycled or whatever it is. The only thing that I bought new was this, which is this fabric. Pretty sure, is that a French General? Selvage doesn't say. I'm pretty sure that's a French General fabric. So I bought that. It's really nice. I bought that with Rachel's block in mind, that I'd use a little bit of that. And then I have done a little bit of tea dyeing. I know it's mostly white, but I have done a little bit. So this I tea dyed. That was crisp white as well. These are actually buttonholes I've pulled off garments from the antique box. They're been tea dyed. This little bit of lace I've stitched on to kind of make the leaf is tea dyed, and this piece here and this piece were all tea dyed, just lightly tea dyed. I only put them in quickly. I didn't want them to go too dark because I thought I wanted to keep it just off white. Sorry, something on it. So this leaf here was the new fabric. This button actually came off those pantaloons. I love these buttons, the ones that have just got the 2 holes and they're covered in fabric. They're really hard to find over here, but I was so excited to find an authentic one in that box. So I've put that on. That's very precious. There's a little bit of the selvage from this fabric that I've stitched messily down here and done some French knots along the edge. But underneath is like, it's a seam from one of the garments in the antique box as well. So I've actually pulled lots of bits and pieces and things that you wouldn't think you'd normally use, like the seam. This is just an end piece of some selvage I stitched on the bottom. So that's the lace part off the off the garment with the aqua, and then the little lace trim down the bottom I kept, and I've just roughly stitched the initials down there. And then this is a piece of lace that I've just sort of gathered and pulled in. And this, they've all come from that box. That box was just amazing. Like, Rach has gone through it and pulled heaps out. Mum's gone through it and pulled bits and pieces out. I've used so much, and I still have probably 4 or 5 boxes. And I actually donated heaps to charity as well, just bits and pieces that I knew weren't our taste. And I've actually donated to that crafty op shop that we like to go to. And finally, this little thing, I've just stamped the R. So this is, I'm just looking if it's next to me. Yes, it is. This is an old French stamp, which I bought on Etsy. So I bought the little letter R. It's a really old French stamp. I bought a big one, actually. This is the big one. And I got the little one as well, which is cool. So I've stamped that R for Rachel or R for Roxy. And I've just used the red Stays On ink. And I've just done a running stitch around that. So I'm super excited about this one. I think this is my favorite one that I've done so far. I find it's easier to do for my sister because I know her taste. I think she's going to love it. I wanted to show her the other day, but she wouldn't let me. That's why she's not allowed to watch this video. I showed her a sneak peek. I showed her that number on the corner. That's all I've showed her. So this is going in the mail along with some other goodies. I've got quite a few bits and pieces I want to send to her. And of course, I've been putting caramello koalas in everyone's packs. And for Rach, I'll have to put a couple of packets so she can share them with Lulu and Steffi. And I know she misses caramello koalas because she loves them. And also the essential, of course, Rach. You can watch this later once you receive your pack. I will be putting in some Vegemite because every Aussie kid loves Vegemite. Well, just about every Aussie kid. So happy days, she can have her Vegemite toast with a cup of tea. So I hope you like seeing this block that I've done. I'm now just about to start Susanna's block, which is my next one. I've just got to think a bit more about my idea about what I want to do, and then I'll be starting that one. And what I'm going to do with that one, because Susanna's in Australia, it won't take long to get to her. I'll actually film the process of how I put hers together because I know she'll get it quickly, so that I can post the video of the process as well, because I haven't really showed much of my process yet. So I hope you like seeing the latest block that I received and also what I've been doing for my sister. Actually, I will show you one more thing. I'm taking part in the Handmade and Brooke challenge, the tag challenge. So following my sister's tutorial, I've made the tags and I've actually stamped them all with the weeks, and the dates will be going on. And I've done the first 2 weeks. I'm about to start the third one today. So that was week 1, which was all white. So again, delving into that box, I've used some of that stamped fabric that I used in Rachel's. I used another one of them. That lace there, if you can see it, is my absolute favorite. It's a really simple one. It's on like tulle netting, but I absolutely love it. This button here, I've had this button for years and years and years. I bought it in a button store in Sydney. I can't even remember how long ago, probably 10 years ago. And it's like mother of pearl or shell. I've never used it, and I've wanted to for so long, so I've finally used that. So again, just a slow stitch background, lay it up bits and pieces and stitch them down, and then put the button on. And then on the back of each tag, I write the week, the date of that week, because Anne starts it on a Friday, so it was the 1st of January. I actually stamped half my stamps with 2020, and I had to change the 0 to a 1, which is pretty funny. What the theme was, all white, and then this is the hashtag. So hashtag 52 tags, Han, H-A-N-N-E, made. And so if you go on Instagram, you put that in, you'll be able to see what everyone's been doing. So that's week 1. Week 2, I've just posted a picture of this today on Instagram. So I love this fabric. I only have 2 small pieces of it. I bought from a lady on Etsy that my sister and I both buy from fairly regularly. And it's just beautiful. So I put it on here so I'll get to keep it. This also came from her. And in the background, you can only see a tiny bit, but it was actually a very pale pink quilted piece that I've used as the background. So it's quite thick, this tag, because it's on a quilted piece. So I ran again a piece of selvage from the fabric on this leaf. Ran that down the side. I had some little butterflies, which were cute. This little hand-dyed piece of silk, I've just ruffled it up and randomly stitched it down, stitched some old buttons down, bit of lace alongside, and this also came along with this piece of fabric. So I don't even know what that would be. I don't know if it's a button or what it is, but it's kind of cool, and it's kind of a beigey pink color, which I thought went well. So I think that's really pretty. And this tag for this week was for the 8th of January, week 2, and it was a heart. So that's what I did, a heart. Now week 3, which will go onto this tag, so that'll be the back of the tag, and then I'll stick my piece on this side, is actually using scraps. Now, Anne, if you go and watch her video, which she posted last night, there's a specific way that she's using those scraps. I'm going to use scraps as well, but I think I might do a slightly different technique. So I'll probably start working on that maybe tonight. And then who knows if I'll get through the 52. I'm not very good at completing challenges. If you watched me before in Rachel's 100-day challenge, I think I got to day 38, which was pretty funny. So anyway, I've been busy with some sewing. I've also been doing some Christmas journaling, like December journaling, which I'll show you in another video. But I hope everyone is good and everyone is safe away from COVID, and that your family's safe as well, and you're protected. It's an interesting time that we've never gone through before, but at least staying at home allows you to do more crafting. All right, so I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.